So hey everybody, it is DelusionDispeller Dee Dee, and I said I would make a video about my COVID journey, so that's what this one is about for those that are interested in finding out exactly how it all went, some of the medicines I took and the vitamins and things like that. I have it right here and in my journal here. So I'm going to begin by starting to tell you, first of all, my cat is wiggling my computer. It all began back on, what date was that? It was on a Saturday, I believe it was October 2nd, Toby Mac concert. We were in a Coliseum known as the Tax Slayer Center, which holds, I guess, hundreds or thousands of people, lots of people. And we went there, and nobody had masks on. I mean, we had to wear masks to get in the building, but once you're in the concert, no. And there was like a praise and worship type service before the concert started, because it was a Christian concert. And the guy was singing really nice, and we were all getting into the worship, lifting our hands and opening our mouths and singing really loud. And they were squirting this, or spraying this smoke up into the audience. We were up in the upper part. My daughters had not even gotten into the building yet for the concert. They were still, I don't know what they were doing, buying t-shirts or something. So we didn't even see them. They were down below. We finally saw where they sat. They were like in the lower middle part. We were in the upper balcony. So they're spraying the smoke up into the balcony. Now imagine hundreds of people all around this big Coliseum, and they're spraying the smoke around like this. So everybody's germs in that place, if they got the flu, they got COVID, whatever they got, they're not wearing masks. It's picking up the germs from them, and you know COVID can go so many feet. And it's shoving it up everybody's nose, eyes, ears, and I have no way to know if anybody else got sick, but I know we got really, really sick. Not right away either. So, okay, that concert happened. That was on a Saturday. Sunday and Monday, fine. No symptoms, nothing. Felt fine. You know, just living our lives, whatever. I work on Tuesday. So Tuesday, I worked until, I believe, 2 or 3. And then at 3:30, I started feeling almost like I was getting the flu. Kind of like the icky feeling in the back of your throat where you kind of got to go, you know, get this stuff out. Not to be gross or anything. By early evening Tuesday, I had fever, I had chills, I had a cough, I had jaw pain, and I was just not feeling good at all. So I called off work. I'm like, I think I'm just getting, I don't know, bronchitis or the flu or something. I don't know. And I knew if I had bronchitis to get a Z-Pack, because that's what they always give me for the bronchitis. It's kind of a thing. You know, I just know automatically. Bronchitis, Z-Pack. So, let's see. So that was that day. And then, I don't remember when I went to the doctor, but I did get a Z-Pack at some point. I think it's coming up. I know that, I believe it was that week. From that moment on, I totally lost a whole week somewhere in there. I don't remember anything about it. I remember feeling really sick, calling into work, and the next thing, I guess I was just nursing along the symptoms, trying to figure out how to get through it, and it was so traumatic that I totally blacked out the whole week in my mind, so I don't remember anything about that week. In fact, I didn't even journal in that week. I was so sick. So the first time, it was like maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 days or whatever. I have day 6 written as the day that I went to get the Z-Pack. So by the end of that week was when I got the Z-Pack, apparently. On the 7th day, I wanted to exercise like I always do when I come home from work, but I was too sick. I had said that on TikTok, that I was just too sick to exercise. I had a sore throat. I started feeling really lonely and helpless and had a bad cough by the next day on the 7th. Okay, now I thought I was getting better in between this time when I had the Z-Pack. I was coughing, but everything seemed like it was loosening up at first. And I was feeling really weak, but I still kept on moving and walking. And then I was just like, okay, something's wrong here, so I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to try to nurse everything, on my own and not do anything about it. Since I already had the Z-Pack, I figured I'd be okay. But by the time I was done with the Z-Pack, I wasn't getting better. By day 8, I had a raspy voice, I had a cough, and they started offering me these things called monoclonal antibodies. I did my research on them. Trump was treated with monoclonal antibodies. Monoclonal antibodies, when they were first developed, were tested on aborted fetal tissue. Now, whether there's aborted fetal tissue in them, I don't know. But the fact that they were tested on it was enough for me to say, no, I'm not supporting anything like that. It's not going in my body. So, I realized I was refusing something and I could die. I was okay with that. I'm very pro-life. I am not pro-woman's choice or anything like that. I am pro-life of the baby. I'm pro-life of the fetus. I'm pro-life of the embryo. Pro-life of the little blip on the screen that you can barely see when that baby is conceived. Pro-life. All the way, okay? And anybody that talks to me about the opposite, those are fighting words, and you don't want to go there with me, because I'm very, very set in my ways on that. Okay. That's right up there with declawing cats and all that other stuff. I'm just very set in my ways. All right. Next. I did the dishes, walked to the mailbox. I was exhausted the rest of the day. So I knew something was up, obviously. Day 10, bad cough, bloated, fluid in the lungs, low temperature, or low oxygen. Oh no, it was the low temperature. My temperature dropped finally on the 10th day. I didn't have the fever anymore. So I was like, okay, well maybe I'm getting better. And that's the nature of this beast. And it is a beast. Is you feel really, really sick, and then a couple days later you can feel like you're starting to get better, and then you get sick again. That was pretty much the story here. I started coughing so hard that my kidneys were hurting at one point. And I found out that Theraflu was my best friend. Remember, check with your doctor before you take any medication. I'm not recommending you take it. Just telling you what I did. Okay. I started feeling fatigued, dizzy, coughing, weak. And the next day, and I'm not going to tell you the dates of everything because I don't remember exactly. I screwed up all these dates all along. I was putting the wrong dates. That's also part of COVID. You lose your memory a little bit sometimes. So whatever Saturday that was, I was in misery. I was still unsteady on my feet, dizzy, low appetite, coughing, chest congestion. Day 10, bad cough, bloating, fluid in lungs, low temperature. Oh, I already told you that, sorry. Okay, day 11, the Z-Pack was not working. I tested myself for COVID. You guys may have seen that actual video. I think it's still up on my channel. I tested positive for COVID. I had a bad cough still, so that was that. The next day I was walking around the living room, kitchen. I helped clean the guinea pig cage. I ate mashed potatoes. I moved into the regular bedroom. I watched a couple movies with Matthew. I was still very weak, and my head was very, very congested. I felt like a fullness in my head that was very uncomfortable, like somebody actually stuck a tube in there and started inflating around my temples. It was not enjoyable at all. The next day, I took a short walk to the swing. Then I walked to the truck. I went to the doctor for my husband and myself, got a chest x-ray. I believe that was when I found out that I had pneumonia. Possibly not, though. It might have just been a doctor appointment. I started doing light lung exercises. I tried to do wall push-ups, like where you lean against the wall and push. I almost fainted. I couldn't do it. My doctor gave me Tesla Pearls cough things. It made the cough way worse, just with one Tesla Pearl. I learned not to sleep on my back real quick because you have trouble breathing when you have, lung issues and whatever from the COVID. All right, next, on a Tuesday, I tried to do some leg exercises for my thighs. It was really hard to do, even little light exercises. I still didn't have a fever, so I thought, okay, this is good. The cough was more dry coughing, but I did cough up some blood-tinged mucus. Again, not meaning to be gross, I'm just telling you what happened. I did cook a little bit. I made a Jell-O cake, but I felt totally exhausted after making all that stuff and cooking and then going to the store and the doctor again. The hardest thing for me with the COVID was definitely the fatigue. It's just beyond anything you can imagine. I started hoping that I would not feel exhausted the next day. Okay. Okay, the next day I went to the doctor, found out I had double pneumonia. I was dizzy, I had low oxygen, I was lightheaded, there was more coughing, and I was still exhausted. Now, I'm kind of going to tell you like the approximate days all this stuff happened. The next day, I was frustrated, nothing was working to get rid of the sickness. I had stomach pain, I had face pain, I felt like there was no cure, I felt like it would be forever. I felt low energy, overwhelmed, and I was hardly moving. We tried to do stuff around the house just to kind of feel better, and it just wasn't happening good at all for us. It was really, really frustrating, and we felt like it just was endless. We were just going to be sick the rest of our lives. That's what it feels like. You just absolutely feel like you're dying, and there's no hope. Okay. The next day I did long exercises, which made me exhausted again. And by long exercise, I mean like you lift your arms up like this, breathe in and hold it as long as you can, and breathe back out. I can do it now. I could not do it then. If I breathed in, I would cough, 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 and end up in a coughing fit most of the time. So that was one of the symptoms, was I couldn't get a full breath in. I can now get a full breath in. That's because I got a hold of some Symbicort. Yeah, the budesonide, whatever it is, was what I needed to clear my lungs out. And doctor would not give it to me, but God has angels, so we'll just say that's that. He makes a way where there seems to be no way, and he did, and I was able to get my medicine I needed, which was awesome. Okay, let's see. What was next? Oh, the next day I got a hold of the immune tea. I had heard that if you take zinc and a couple other things, I can't remember what was in the immune tea that I needed, but I told people about it on one of my live streams. I went to the store, I bought some immune tea, started drinking that. That started helping me cough more stuff up. That was the first day I had laughed in 22 days since getting COVID. I was laughing at Grandma Ducky's comment about wearing garlic around my neck. And I said, what are we trying to ward off the vampires or something? And it made me laugh so hard. And it felt good to laugh. I couldn't laugh long, but I could laugh. So that was great. On the 23rd day, I realized I had a loss of taste. I think it was probably earlier than the 23rd day. But I really realized it on the 23rd day. I realized not only did I lose my taste, but food was no longer enjoyable to me. So I could kind of taste it, but it didn't have that, that's so good, so savory, so sweet. Nothing like that. It was just, it's food. I can't explain it. If you've never lost your taste or smell, you will not know what I'm talking about. I also had the loss of smell. I still do not have my smell back. I can smell really raunchy, nasty stuff sometimes. But if it's just like food or something, it's really hard for me to smell, and sometimes I absolutely can't smell it. The next day, on the 24th, I believe it was, I was really, really laying in bed a lot. I could sit up a little bit, but I was just really lingering in the bed and fatigued, very fatigued. So again, the symptoms came back on me by day 24. Day 26, I was dizzy, lightheaded, fatigued, though the cough was a bit looser, so that was nice. On the next day, 27th, the cough was still loose, and I was still feeling bad. The 28th, bad cough and fatigue. It seems like the cough was the most consistent thing with the whole post-COVID pneumonia part. Just coughing and coughing. On day 29, still coughing. I said here, halfway through, I went to the convenient care and I got an x-ray, the second x-ray, and they said that it was resolving COVID pneumonia was the diagnosis. I've actually shown you my paperwork of that. You guys have seen that. And I posted the video on my community page if you want to have proof that I had COVID. because it says right on it, COVID-19. October 20th, I worked on my puzzle. I was talking to a couple people online. Let's see. I did a puzzle the next day. I was being really badly persecuted online for a long time during the whole COVID garbage. Let's see, the next day, still being bashed online. So I started getting extreme fatigue again on that Sunday. I really wanted to go to church. I think that was the Sunday I was going to, and I couldn't. So I really couldn't do much of anything. I was just really dragging and wanting so bad to get up and move, and I couldn't. Pretty much kind of all the same all along, right up until Monday this week, whatever that date was. I got a note from the doctor that I could go back to work. I took it to my boss. We talked. I told him what I would need. I told him I was still weak, fatigued, and that I could come back to work if he wanted me to come back, but I would definitely need some assistance. Like, they would have to load the cart for me. I cannot lift boxes yet. I can't do the Wednesday where I do it all myself. Definitely not. So I'm working a couple days a week for a few hours just to kind of ease back into it. And as I'm able, they will add more hours on. That's what the agreement is. So thankfully, I have a really, really nice a very, very nice boss and manager who understand, because they've all had COVID. So they get it. They're like, just work an hour and a half. If that's all you can work, that's fine. Then just come back later and work a little bit longer, you know. Take breaks in between if you need to. And the whole time I was working yesterday, they both were like, are you okay? Are you holding up all right? Do you need another break? You know. And if I needed a break, I would tell my manager, I need to take a break. I need a breather. And she'd be like, okay, that's fine. Just go. You know, we'll be here when you get back. We're not going anywhere. So I worked for a few hours and I went home. She let me go because we had a very small truck, so there wasn't much work to do. I faced the shelves and then I headed home. And it went okay. It was really hard. There are stairs where I work, and that was hard too, going up and down the stairs. But I did get to take little breaks. Most of the time I went like to the restroom or just upstairs to the workroom or break room and sat for a few minutes. And at one point I ate a little bit and then went back down before I faced the shelves. And that was it. So I'm back at work. I go back on Tuesday. But that's pretty much what COVID did to me. I mean, it was just a lot of fatigue, a lot of exhaustion, a little bit of sore throat, coughing. But really the exhaustion and the cough were the worst part for me. That was more after COVID with the COVID pneumonia. So that is my story. That is the COVID run-through. Approximately like 30 days. I think it lasted maybe 32. I don't know. I can't count anymore. And that's another thing. You don't remember stuff. Even my boss was joking about how he and his wife were watching a movie and he was saying, isn't that actor? And he named the actor and she's like, you got COVID brain still, you know. So they joke about it, but COVID is no joking matter in general. It's bad. So take care of yourself however you believe in taking care of yourself. I would definitely say wear a mask, distance yourself, and wash your hands a lot. And don't be foolish like I was. Don't take your mask off at a huge public arena. That was just dumb. The dumbest thing I've ever done. If I could kick myself, I would kick myself. I figuratively have ever since then. And I will never tell you it was anybody's fault but my own of why I got COVID. I hadn't gotten it up to that point. I had been at family gatherings without a mask. Usually I wear my mask in public. The one day I didn't, I pick a public arena of thousands of people to do it in. Stupid. Anyway, me, stupid. That was a dumb idea. So, again, lesson learned, and I'm going to post this now so you guys can see it. I promised you a COVID rundown, and here it is. All right. Have a great day, everybody, or a great night, whatever it is. And God bless and shalom.